Headline news most affecting Chilliwack this week. A disturbing child luring incident in Promontory. Chilliwack opening its arms to Ukrainians who are fleeing the war. A 13-year-old can't play hockey right now. He's waiting for a kidney transplant. And BC Community Football has not one, not two, three prospect games on Saturday. Josh will have more in sports. Our special guests this week include Mayor Ken Popove and this month's edition of Councillor's Corner, Chilliwack City. Bradley Gionet and his guest Andy Savin, who came to Chilliwack from the Ukraine. Paula DeWit and a new edition of Seen Here First. A brand new segment, Rotary Corner, sponsored by Reliable Towing. And we mentioned some football, Chel Sanghera with BC Community Football, and the game Facilitator. All right, Chilliwack, let's get started. Our top news stories, sponsored by Zacharias Vickers LLP. An RCMP investigation continues into an attempted child luring incident. This after an unknown male suspect approached a young child last Wednesday morning. Now, the 10-year-old was waiting for the school bus in Promontory. This off the intersection of Russell Road and Teskey Way. The child was approached by a man that the child did not know. The man propositioned this person on a date. Now, during the conversation, the suspect requested that they keep this meeting a secret, and then the suspect departed on foot. RCMP are hoping that somebody has some type of dash cam footage of this meeting. For the past couple of months, the world has watched in horror the events that were happening in Ukraine, and many in Chilliwack have leaped into action, attempting to provide safe shelter for at least some of the 44 million now affected by the war. The group Chilliwack Emergency Host Families was started by Bradley Gionet. Bradley, along with Andy, who came from the Ukraine, joined chillTV for an interview. That's coming up later on in the show. Young Madden is an amazing young man. He's about 13. Well, he's about to turn 13. He's a veteran of Chilliwack minor hockey, but in his short life, he's had more medical issues than most people have had to endure over the course of a lifetime. Madden went in for a routine blood work in January, and it was discovered then he had chronic kidney disease. So now he needs a transplant and basically resides at Children's Hospital. The family needs financial help. They're staying with Madden in Vancouver. So if you want to help out, there is a GoFundMe page. It's called Please Help Young Madden, or just go to GoFundMe and search for Chilliwack, BC. Over the past couple of summers, RCMP have noted the increase in vessel traffic on Cultus Lake, with serious incidents occurring on the water. Transport Canada's Office of Boating Safety in the Mounties gathering to discuss solutions to improve the safety of all users. One result of the discussions have been the installation of control buoys around the entire foreshore of the lake. Cultus Lake Park Board has more info on this installation. Meanwhile, there's been another cougar sighting near the village, and conservation officers are trying to find that cat. On Sunday, June 5th, head down to downtown Chilliwack on Mill Street and celebrate the new Pride banners designed by Justin Mallard, Terry Westerby, and Bon Graham. And this will be serving as a barbecue fundraiser for the major August Pride event itself. So the event is free. The barbecue hot dogs are by suggested donation of $3. There is a Facebook page with more information on all of this. So you want to take the kids on a hike. Teapot Hill really isn't such a great idea for the kids. Author Stephen Huey has written a book on hiking trails that are perfect for kids in the valley as well as Metro Vancouver. It does include maps and outlines, and it can be found at any bookstore or online. In fact, the bookman tells us it's available for $24.95. You know him as Pencil Fingers. His artwork is all around the whack. Chilliwack artist Davis Graham created a painting as a tribute to the paramedics and other frontline workers, and he has donated the artwork entitled Beyond the Mask to BC Emergency Health Services. His works include a commissioned mural for the city of Chilliwack, and originally from the WAC, he's now in Vancouver living there and working as a tattoo artist. The 2022 edition of Yarrow Days, also the 50th year, is called Feeling Groovy. It's coming up June the 7th. The Facebook page now has information on all the events, so the parade, a fun run, and the annual show and shine. And a reminder, parking in Yarrow will be limited, so plan that trip accordingly. At the end of every month is Councillor's Corner, Chilliwack City. This time around, it will be with Mayor Ken Popove. And after the break, a new segment brought to you by Reliable Towing, Rotary Corner. As well, Paula DeWit with our entertainment segment, Seen Here First. And then Josh with sports. Don Lehn and chillTV in another edition of Councillor's Corner Chilliwack City with our Mayor Ken Popove. One thing I got to start off with, and we touched base about this off the air, and the Frechette and a number of people saying it's not that bad yet. What do you have for information?
Well, I love people's, opinions of it's not that bad, and it could be not that bad. It's really weather related, Don, and how it comes down. Typically, by this time of year, the lower and the mid pack would have come down already. All that is still there because of the cool spring that we're having. So, for instance, the weekend weather was perfect. It warmed up and then it cooled down again. And that water takes a couple, 3 days to get to us, and it's into the ocean. If we get a really big warming trend, with possibly some rain as well, the low-lying areas may experience some localized flooding. That's the folks that are outside the dike. The folks inside the dike will be fine. Yeah, we'll be fine. But it certainly is a concern.
One thing that has come up over the last couple of weeks, there have been a number of people who've gone out, done cleanup at Gilbar, at Jesperson, at Peg Leg, and there's been plenty of finger pointing. What can the city do? Can the city do anything to clean up? Is this DFO? Is this FERD? Is this the feds? And I know you've been flooded with questions too. What can the city do and can't do right now?
Well, we were able to put a gate up to try to control the traffic going in and out of there.
Out of Gil, or?
Yep. But that's been taken down because people were just busting through it, and it cost the Chilliwack's taxpayers money to fix those back up. That's one issue. Second issue, we have applied with FLNRO. That's it's a provincial government's committee that takes care of that sort of thing. And what we would like to do is turn it into a proper campsite with washroom facilities, a gatehouse, a proper boat launch. We applied for that. I think it's going on year 3 now. As we were talking, the speed of bureaucracy is very slow. Let's just put it that way.
Would that have to be some type of an agreement with, say, the FERD? And I'm thinking Island
Correct.
22. With
that is correct. Yeah, okay. And it touches on some First Nations land as well. So it's a complicated ask, but it's a great piece of property to really make it something nice, and we'd really like to do that, but it's making its way through office to office and legislature. As soon as it gets to the proper desk to sign off on it, we may know tomorrow or we may know 3 years down the road. It's really hard to say.
Changing gears, we're all watching Surrey. They're making a transition to a city police force. City Council supporting retaining the RCMP. Was there any pushback at all that you had heard through email through the city to your office, or is everybody pretty much on board that we're pretty much happy with RCMP?
Well, I did get a couple phone calls about following the lead with the Surrey mayor, but we are quite happy with the RCMP. We feel that they do a great job for us, and it really was a hey, we got your back, guys. We're not thinking of going down the private route. A, it's going to cost a lot of money to transition over to that, and B, with what's been going on with our force under Superintendent Davy Lee, they're doing a great job, and there's more things that we need to get out of the province. We can't police our way out of mental health issues. We need the province with Fraser Health to step up at the plate and work with us, like at Car 67. That's a police officer who has a mental health person with them. Right. I've asked CAO Fraser Health 3 times about that, and I've been turned down 3 times about that. But I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to quit trying. They know who I am, and I'm not saying that the squeaky wheel gets the most oil, but I'm going to keep on going on that route because it's something that we need.
Last but not least, downtown Chilliwack, the Pride banners are about to go up, and there's a Pride barbecue leading into the fundraiser. Yep. That's coming up as well. This is significant for Chilliwack, for the banners.
Noon tomorrow, actually, they're going to be going up. I'm going to be a part of that celebration. Yes, it is significant, and talking to Justin Millard, I think he's been on your show as well, and I sat down with him and had a really good conversation with him, and it really hit home with me. And it's some people say, well, it's just a banner. Well, it's not just a banner; it's recognition. Yeah. It shows that the LGBTQ community is welcome in the city of Chilliwack, and this is just the start of it too. So we're going to do the downtown banners, and then we'll see where it goes from there. So yeah, it's been a cool initiative. Hats off to the crew that put this together, and they're beautiful. They've done a great job on the artistic side of those. So yeah, I'm proud to be part of that.
One last piece, and I'm going to swear here with the word potholes. And how are we coming along?
Well, I think I probably talked potholes and probably that stretch of road from Watson to Keith Wilson, I don't know how many times. The backstory on that, we have 3 crews. Our main truck, the engine blew. That's exactly what happened. So that truck was down for a couple, 3 weeks. It's all back running. They're all out there. If there's a pothole that's in your neighborhood or close by, contact operations. Within 48 hours, it'll be filled. We had a hell of a winter, with the rain, with the freeze. It really kicked the crap out of our roads. There's no question. And yeah, I got to watch where I drive too, because, with my car, I've got lower profile tires, and they're, tire wheel eaters.
Yeah.
So it's something that we have to watch. We are on top of it. It's not perfect by no means. I get that, but hats off to our operations staff for, trying to keep up and make our roads safe. So it's an ongoing operation.
And you can always be reached through social media, through the email, through the City of Chilliwack website.
mayor@chilliwack.com. If you got a pothole, I'll even take your calls and I'll make it happen for you. So just connect with me and I'll get back to you.
Mayor Ken Popove, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Councillor's Corner, Chilliwack City, and you're watching chillTV's News of the Week. chillTV's News of the Week in conversation with Bradley and Andy, and involved with Chilliwack Emergency Host Families. Bradley, Gionet, I know this is a organization close to your heart. When did it start, and when did we bring Andy over?
Well, it all started in February when the war broke out, and my family, like many others, wanted to help out, and we had a spare bedroom, and so we wanted to offer that up. And we found that there was some charities and organizations that were, put in charge of kind of coordinating this, and completely overwhelmed. And so we had registered, and still to this day I haven't even had a response. And so the Chilliwack Emergency Host Families was set up during the floods back in the fall. So we were using that in the Sumas flood just to help people find a place to crash for a couple of days. And so I thought, well, why not just reuse it and, put some feelers out there, and some work into it, and see if we can find some housing for the folks from Ukraine.
How did you touch base with Andy? And you've only been here, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Little more
than that.
Than 2 weeks, yeah.
And a note that Andy is also a journalism grad, so he's used to this set here. How did you guys link up? And then I guess it's almost like a spy novel how you got here.
I find in a Facebook group that's called Canadians Host Ukrainians. And I was making a post there. I describe all the situation that I have, and there is a lot. I think there is almost 100 offers from different provinces, from different cities, from different people, with the offers with like hosting me. And yeah, Bradley make a comment in this post, and I was like, we start to chat, and that's how, like, I don't know.
Yeah. Now, are you close to the war front, or the family is further in Ukraine? I don't know the geography of Ukraine that well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I was living last 7 years in Poltava. It's city in the central Ukraine. Okay. It's still far from it's close to the Kharkov. It's 2 hours till that city that bombed by Russians, but it's still far from the war spots. Yeah. There's nothing there still.
Yeah. Are you still able to get in touch with the family?
Yeah, and my family living not there. There's a friends. I'm still in touch with my friends. Yes, we're talking almost like every day. We're texting with each other. My family is still far from the war spots. Yeah.
So now what? Do you find a job here, or how does this procedure start?
He's already working.
He's already
He's already working. Yeah, I mean, this was some of the draw for Chilliwack is our employment situation is great for anyone looking for a job. There's more jobs than there are people. So so Andy's working and settling in, and yeah.
Now your English is incredible, but there had to be some culture shock. Because Canada is Canada.
Yeah.
What was the first thing that really stood out that you had to realize, oh, okay, this is different. How does this work?
Oh, first thing that...
Outside of gas prices, yeah.
No, I don't have a driver license.
Okay,
That's why I don't understand prices on the gas. The first thing that was different, it's like people, firstly. Yeah. And everyone's so sweet. Probably every time you're asking how you doing. In Ukraine, we don't do that.
Oh, okay,
yes.
really? Yeah.
Yes, we didn't smile on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first thing that I noticed in here. And the second one, that my friends always told me that I don't have an accent in English. But
Yeah.
when I settled in Bradley's house, he said that I have a Russian accent.
I love it. I love it. Now, how do we spread the word? There's obviously, Andy won't be the only one coming over, and we have no idea how long this is going to last. So if they're trying to get a hold of you, or they want to touch base with Andy and get his take on things, how do we get a hold of you?
Jump into the Facebook group, Chilliwack Emergency Host Families, and we're available in the group. As well as there's folks that are looking for housing we haven't been able to find housing for. We've probably got about a dozen or so that are still waiting for someone to open up their homes. So jump in there and we can help connect and answer questions. And, we kind of had to figure out the process ourselves. We didn't have a charity or a
There's
support,
no manual. Yeah.
Nothing. There was nothing. They haven't been able to help. So we've kind of figured it out. And I've been able to help place about 25 separate groups so far. So, you kind of figure it out as you go along and don't have all of the answers, but we can help.
Bradley, Andy, thank you for coming by. And being that you have a journalism background, you're always welcome here. Bradley is too, but it's an inside joke. And you're watching chillTV's News of the Week.
This is Paula DeWit, and welcome to another edition of Seen Here First. I have some wonderful young guests with me today in the studio, and they're all from G.W. Graham, and they're in not the theater department, but the movie making.
The film department.
Film and
television,
television. Yes, which is a relatively new program at your school.
Not exactly.
It's fairly old.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's been in, but it started out quite not great. They didn't have a lot of equipment, but it's definitely come a long way, I'd say.
That's awesome. But another reason why you're here is because you have a film that you have entered into the Chilliwack Student Film Festival. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's talk about that. But first, let's introduce each other because you guys look a lot younger than I am.
Definitely.
Let's start here.
Well, me, I forgot my name. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, my name's Chel Goff, and I mainly do editing and cinematography.
And what grade are you in?
I'm in grade 10.
Grade 10.
I'm Kiana Clark, and I'm also in grade 10, and we focus on the same thing, editing and cinematography.
Very neat.
I am Jared McGalley. I mainly did acting on the set. I acted as the mystery man on the film, and I mainly do acting. I can work behind a camera also editing as well, but yeah.
Very neat.
I'm Brody Rouleau, and I kind of just do a little bit of everything in the little film crew that we have. I've been mainly doing acting in Peoplesburger to be the character, and I'm in grade 11, so I've had a little bit. So
you're the older, wiser one.
Yeah, wiser.
Yeah.
And I'm Mason Fraser. I've primarily acted in our Peoplesburger film, but I also do some editing sometimes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So this movie is called Peoplesburger.
Yes.
And did you guys write the film?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a bit about how it came about.
It was an original idea between all of us. We all wanted to do something 80s kind of infomercial, but we wanted to have a twist of scariness, right? So we looked at analog horror and we kind of built a lot after that,
But yeah, basically just one day we were having some troubles. We were really stumped on an idea because we wanted to just get our hands on a camera and go out and film something. And we were just sitting all together around a table, and I came up with the idea of analog horror. And I showed it to everyone. We all discussed it. We all said it was a pretty good idea. And then the next day we started discussing even further. And then the idea for People's Burger was born from there. But it's a bit more extensive than that.
So explain to the audience what analog core means.
Well, Brody is an expert on
Yeah, I'd say Brody is probably the best explaining it.
Yeah, analog horror is a weird kind of subcategory of horror online. It's mainly centered online. It's the idea of old infomercials or anything kind of old, like introductory tapes for like a workplace environment. It just has an unsettling feeling, or like something isn't right. Kind of like how the cameras make it feel with the old kind of feel to them.
And then you were also saying that you did some recording on VHS.
Yes. Actually, I feel like I struggled the most with VHS because we filmed it all on the camera, right? And it's quite old, right? So exporting it onto the new technology took a really, really, really long time. I think I wanted to pull out my hair so many times trying to do this. Yeah.
And those cameras are quite big too.
Well, we used one of the minier ones, right? Like we don't put the VHS in them. The VHS already is in them, you know. And I think that it was probably the best because I don't know if we were going to be able to figure out the big ones. I mean,
but it's very 80s.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's very
definitely.
80s.
Yes, you could have even used the beta camera, which nobody has. So, or a beta machine. Okay, so now you guys have been selected to be in the film festival.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a pretty big honor.
We definitely have been in like our teacher's eyes because like he's definitely one of my big mentors and the reason that I still do film to this
And
day.
who is your teacher?
Our teacher is Mr. Florazone.
Okay.
Full name. Do you know his full name?
Mr.
I
Michael
don't know.
Flores.
Okay, well I did, but I forgot it.
Michael Florzone.
So how many films have you guys done together as a group?
We've made like 5 or 6, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
All this year?
Yes. It over the span of 2 months we made 6 films.
Are they all People Burger
No.
sequels?
Projects related
We actually
to like,
have one of
assignments.
them called Mason Fraser, which is an action comedy film based off of Mason Fraser.
Yeah. We wanted to do a bit of a parody film on the John Wick films, so we came up with the funny idea of doing it all based around Mason Fraser, and he's the main actor.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see it. So let's have a look at it and join us next time on Seen Here First.
You have reached the voicemail box of
Josh Martin. Please leave a message after the tone. Josh, I've called you 4 times. Where are you?
chillTV and another edition of Rotary Corner, brought to you by our friends at Reliable Towing, and from local Rotary, Tara Cummings and Nick Beausoleil. One thing that I always find amusing when you mention Rotary, and people think it's elder businessmen my age, and it's not. Welcome to 2022. Tell me more about how youth is getting involved. Now, May is what, a Youth Awareness Month, or how is this working?
Yeah, May is the month where we recognize youth service in Rotary, and there's a multitude of ways that we recognize that, and also a lot of opportunities for youth to get involved. Nick here is definitely involved in a number of those opportunities himself. So
tell me a couple of things that you're involved with.
Yeah, so I serve on the Interact Club, which is basically a Rotary branch for youth, which I think it's just high school students at the moment, but we go out and we do things for the community. We help out around the community and raise funds for them. And then I'm also an exchange student with Rotary, which is an awesome program they offer. Basically, anybody from Chilliwack can sign up and then get selected to represent our country in a foreign exchange. So I'll be in France next year, for example.
Very cool. What, Paris, Nice? Do you know where you're going and know what you're doing too? Or
Strasbourg, and I'll be studying high school there. So it's like Eastern France.
Oh my! I'm very jealous now. With Interact, how does someone get involved with that? What are the age parameters? Are there other things scholastically that you have to be able to do? Or
For sure. It's open for youth between the ages technically of 12 to 18. As Nick mentioned, currently right now our club in Chilliwack, we primarily have high school youth, but we definitely welcome youth from the middle school years as well. We meet every 2 weeks at the Rotary Service Building in Chilliwack. Our next meeting is not this week, but the following week. But they can get a hold of us through social media, Interact Club of Chilliwack, or also through our Rotary Club of Chilliwack as well. So I'm the Rotary advisor for the club in Chilliwack, along with Shannon is another one of our advisors.
you're the point person for somebody to get a hold of? Then?
Yeah, for sure. Or we also have the youth that they can also reach out to directly through the social media account.
Youth Adventures in Leadership, what's that all about? And something tells me that you're involved in this as well.
I have signed up for it. It's been my first time this year, honestly, so Tara can probably answer better than I can. But from what I understand, it's like leadership and youth seminar almost.
Mm-hmm.
They teach you leadership skills and stuff like that. And it's all sponsored through Rotary, of course. So.
And you made sure that he was in for
Well, he actually reached out. He made sure it happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have 4 youth that our club is sponsoring this year. So it's a number of youth from throughout British Columbia here that will be going. And it's in White Rock. So that's pretty exciting. It typically happens in February, but due to all the bumps COVID has brought us, this year it's happening in June. So we are very fortunate to have 4 of our youth going. And they're all in Interact this year, it just so happens. So.
Is that picking up now that the pandemic seems to be, I don't want to say over, it's not, but easing back so people are a little more comfortable in getting involved? Is that happening?
Oh, definitely. Like during COVID, primarily we were actually on Zoom. So we've been able to meet back in person and of course take part in many in-person activities in the community. But the club has also done some international things as well. They recently did a bake sale where they made cookies and fundraised for humanitarian efforts in Ukraine. So.
Tara Cummings, Nick Beausoleil, big thank you for showing up at chillTV. And for more information, I guess website for Rotaract. What's the URL or?
For Interact, just Interact Club of Chilliwack on social media. They're on Instagram as well as Facebook, and they can also get a hold of us through the Rotary Club of Chilliwack handles as well.
Another edition of Rotary Corner brought to you by Reliable Towing, and you're watching chillTV's News of the Week.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Sports. Josh here with you once again. We've got a great show for you today, including an interview, so let's jump right into it, beginning with a big event coming up this weekend for football in BC especially. The BC Community Football Association's Prospects Showcase game, known as The Game, is this Saturday, and I'm going to be there doing interviews. It's going to be an amazing event. The 3 games, which are 3 different age groups, will start at 9:15 a.m. at Exhibition Stadium with a tribute to Abbotsford's Chase Claypool, wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and star wide receiver, might I add. Admission is going to be free, but I wanted to learn a little more about the event. So I spoke to Chel Sanghera of the BC Community Football Association earlier today to learn a little more. Let's go to that. I am very pleased to be joined here in what I can only call the Sports Cave with Chel Sanghera from BC Community Football Association, here to talk about the game. But as far as I understand, there's not just one game. We have 3 games happening. Isn't that right, Chel?
Yes, we do. We have 3 games happening. The youngest ones, which we call Young Prospects, early in the morning at 9:15. Then the the teen guys, the young teens, they're called the Junior Prospects. They're at 12:30. And then the seniors, so the big boys, the 10, 11, 12s, they're coming in at about 3:45.
Amazing. And the idea for the games here is to be kind of a showcase event, right? To be able to show off their talents, correct?
Yeah. So, I have a bit of a history with showcase games, and it's really, brings kids together from across the province. You can play sports with your community on your community teams at your high school, but you really can't gauge your skill sets until you get up and play with and against players that are from other areas in the province. I always say, you might be the best quarterback at home, but you really don't know until you meet the guy from the island or Prince George. So you gotta come together. One of the things with becoming a student athlete and looking forward to post-secondary opportunities is, really, setting the bar high and knowing what's out there and then knowing how to surpass that.
I love it. And I understand that we're going to have a bit of a special guest at these games, someone you've known since they were, about yay tall. Why don't you tell us a little about that?
So yes, we are having a special guest from Pittsburgh Steelers come to the games, and this game is a tribute game for Chase. So a little bit about me is I have players that have played for me across Canada. I have had so many come up along the way. Lots of them do lots of, professions, proud of them all. But in BC, we've not had somebody, do so well, especially when he was a rookie in his rookie year, 11 touchdowns out of British Columbia. That's a big one, and that's a big inspiration. So we really wanted to bring that back to the children and everybody here. When Chase was in British Columbia, a lot of people would always tell me, well, he's not going to make it to the NFL because, no one does. The stats on that, and, belief is my thing, and I'm like, he'll be there, and he did. He went. So that's all we're doing is bringing him back so we can inspire the young guys to, keep on their mission to go somewhere.
What a cool experience for the everyone participating in these games to meet someone as well known, not just in Canada, but now worldwide as Chase Claypool, of course, wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Chel, thank you so much for joining us. So you all know, these games take place this weekend in Chilliwack at Exhibition Park. Like she said, 9:15, the first game kicks off. It's going to be an unbelievable day, and tickets are free. So why not come check this event out, support community football in BC, and we hope to see you all there. Thanks again for joining us, Chel, and we'll be right back with the rest of sports. Thank you again to Chel for joining us, and I will be there this Saturday, so I can't wait for that. Let's jump into the rest of sports, beginning with Chilliwack's newest soccer club, Chapton FC, who announced that Ryan Critchley will be joining their ever-growing coaching staff. Technical Director Glenn Wilson indicated that Ryan will be working primarily with the Fundamentals program, which is designed for kids aged 6 to 7 to introduce them to the basic fundamentals of soccer skill development. Meanwhile, an application to join the Fraser Valley Youth Soccer Association is also in the works. As a reminder, registration for all players is now underway, so sign up if you're interested. On the other side of town, Chilliwack FC will play host to former Canadian women's national team goalkeeper and 2020 Olympic gold medalist Stephanie Labe on Tuesday, June the 7th. The clinic will feature some of Stephanie's favorite drills and tips, as well as a motivational talk from Labe about what it takes to be a good teammate. She would know she's pretty amazing and a really good keeper to boot. Participants will also receive a personalized signed photo of Stephanie, and 10 lucky registrants at each clinic will get the chance to take a penalty kick against Labe. That is going to be easier said than done. It looks easy on TV, big goal, tiny goalie, but I anticipate very few of them will score. Anyways, check out Chilliwack FC social media. They've got all the registration details there for you. The Durham West Lightning skated to victory in the Esso Cup, claiming Canada's National Women's U18 Club Hockey Championship with a 4-1 win over the Fraser Valley Rush, with Rosedale's Ainsley DeTavio picking up a goal for the Rush. But despite the loss, Fraser Valley remains encouraged, as this is their best finish ever by a BC team at the National Championship. Chilliwack Community Services and Neil's Heating announced the second annual Tour to Chilliwack family bike event in support of the 36 programs at Chilliwack Community Services. The event will take place on Saturday, June the 4th, and will take families through the beautiful country on the north side of Chilliwack with portions along the Fraser River Dike. It'll feature a bike ride of 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers, 50 kilometers, or if you're completely insane, 75 kilometers. An amazing Tour to Chilliwack t-shirt, games along the way, Chilliwack cuisine along the way, and the opportunity to participate in some of the fundraising efforts by collecting pledges. Chilliwack Community Services, even as someone who works for the Salvation Army, I can tell you, unbelievable organization. Definitely go out and support that amazing event. Agassiz Basketball League is now taking registrations for their fall season for kids from grades 3 to 6. All the action takes place at the Agassiz Elementary and Secondary School gym, and you can register through their Facebook page. Finally, NWO Roller Derby is hosting a free full-day referee clinic and open scrimmage on June 5th for anyone who wants to come out. It's free to attend, and just kind of check out what this insane roller derby thing is all about if you don't remember what it was like in, the 80s or whenever. Anyways, it's really cool. NWO has all the information on their Facebook page. Those women who do that, the men and women, are completely nuts. They are really cool, so definitely check that out. That's all we've got for sports today. After the break, Don is back with the weekend weather. Fingers crossed this long, long winter comes to an end. We'll see you guys next week.
chillTV weather, mainly sunny and the high is 17. Great weather for the many outdoor events this weekend, including the Chilliwack Community Market, which is on Sunday. If you'd like to participate in reporting news in Chilliwack and you have a story you think we should know about, you can always send us a note to news@chilltv.ca. We'd love to hear from you. That's the news this week. I'm Don Lehn.